Recently, many viewers of this channel asked me whether the real name of Brahmi script was Dhammalipi or not. Now, this was quite new to me because in the articles and books that I have read on Brahmi script, there is no mention of Dhammalipi. So all of this compelled me to do a deep dive into whether this claim that the real name of Brahmi script was Dhammalipi is true or not. But before we analyze this claim, I think it is important to first understand how we got this name Brahmi. So to understand this, we have to go back to the period of 19th century. During this time, many scholars were studying the Brahmi script, but at this time, this script was not called Brahmi. If we look at the writings of James Prinsep, who deciphered the Brahmi script, we find that he never uses the term Brahmi. During the time of James Prinsep, this script was not called Brahmi. Scholars used names like Mauryan script or Indian Pali for this script. And it was a French Indologist named Albert Terrain de la Couprie who gave Brahmi name to this script. What Albert Terrain de la Couprie did was, when he was studying a Buddhist text called Lalit Vistar, he found out that in the 10th chapter, it was mentioned that when Gautam Buddha was a child, he knew 64 scripts. The list of these 64 scripts is mentioned in this text. Now, if you look at this list, the first name which is mentioned is Brahmi and the second name which is mentioned is Kharoshthi. La Couprie also found these two names, Brahmi and Kharoshthi, in a Chinese Buddhist encyclopedia. And in this Buddhist encyclopedia, it was mentioned that the Brahmi script was written from left to right and the Kharoshthi script was written from right to left. So La Couprie argued that in Ashokan inscriptions, where the script is written from right to left should be called Kharoshthi, and the script which is written from left to right should be called Brahmi. So this argument of La Couprie was accepted by most scholars, and that is why we use the name Brahmi. We are not sure whether during the time of the Mauryas or in later times this script was called Brahmi. So we have to first understand this argument that the name Brahmi which is given to this script is also a conjecture. In my view, a good conjecture, but conjecture nonetheless. Now coming to this theory that the real name of this script is Dhammalipi, the proponents of this theory argue that if we look at Ashokan inscriptions, the name Dhammalipi appears. So it is clear that the real name of this script is Dhammalipi, not Brahmi. Now let's analyze this theory. It is true that the term Dhammalipi appears in Ashokan inscriptions from the Pillar Edict to the Major Rock Edict. But, and this is a big but, because the term Dhammalipi also appears in Ashokan inscriptions that are written in Kharoshthi script. Now this creates a major problem for the proponents of Dhammalipi theory. If Dhammalipi was the real name of Brahmi script, then Ashok would not have used the same term for Kharoshthi inscriptions. He would have used a different term. The fact that the term Dhammalipi appears in both Brahmi inscriptions and Kharoshthi inscriptions means that the term Dhammalipi does not refer to the name of a script. It means something else. So what is the meaning of this term Dhammalipi? To understand this, we have to first understand the meaning of lipi in Prakrit or Pali. If we look at the famous Pali dictionary that was composed by the great English scholars Thomas William Rhys Davids and William Stead, we find that the meaning of the word lipi is different from how we understand it today. For example, presently the word lipi in Hindi means script. But in ancient Pali, this was not the case. Lipi in Pali means alphabet, a letter of the alphabet, or writing. Nowhere lipi means script. This would suggest that the meaning of the term Dhammalipi is writing on Dhamma or writing related to Dhamma. This is how Eugene Hulch has also translated this term in the first volume of Corpus Inscriptionum Indicarum. He has translated the term Dhammalipi as rescript on morality. So here Dhamma means morality and Lipi means rescript. Now this interpretation makes much more sense if we look at the way Dhammalipi term appears in both Brahmi and Kharoshthi inscriptions. For example, the first Ashokan edict from Girnar starts like this: Iyam Dhammalipi Devanam Priyen Priyadasina Ranya Lekhapita. Now compare this to the first edict from Shahbazgadi, which is written in Kharoshthi, and it goes like this: Aya Dhammalipi Devana Priyasa Ranyo Likhapitu. The way these phrases are composed makes it clear that here these phrases are not talking about the name of a script. Instead, they are talking about Ashoka's writing on Dhamma, or how Eugene Hulch describes Ashoka's rescript on morality. So based on these arguments, it is clear that here Dhammalipi does not refer to the name of a script. Now, can we also extend this argument to say that in ancient India, there was never a script called Dhammalipi? In my view, we can extend this argument most likely because if we look at the list of 64 scripts that are mentioned in Lalit Vistara, we find that there is no mention of a script named Dhamma. If there was ever such a script in ancient India called Dhamma, it should have been mentioned in this list or in other sources that talks about various scripts of ancient India. At present, we find that there is no mention of Dhammalipi in these sources. So all of this suggests that in ancient India, there was never a script named Dhammalipi. And this also makes the claim that the real name of Brahmi script was Dhammalipi false. Now, if you are interested in Brahmi script, do watch this podcast where I have done a deep dive into this script. If you like this channel, do subscribe. Thank you for watching.